Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on the Tempest and we are in Act 5, Scene 1. Today we get to hear from Prospero. So Prospero is kind of a magician who's been living on this island for the last 12 years, and he set himself like 6 hours to deal with the fact that this shipwreck full of his worst enemies has just landed on his island, partially by his own design, mostly by his own design. So he's been kind of messing with everybody, but he has also managed to marry off his daughter Miranda to Ferdinand, who is the Prince of Naples, and Ferdinand thinks that he's now the King of Naples because he thinks his dad is dead. Funnily enough, his dad also thinks that he's dead, so he's really upset. Prospero taunted that whole crew, Gonzalo and Alonso and Antonio and Sebastian and all of them, with a lovely banquet, which then got interrupted by Ariel pretending to be a harpy and saying, "You're terrible people for all the things that you did to Prospero," when you banished him and stuck him on a boat, and then took the banquet away. So they're all a little freaked out right now. And then Prospero also scared away Stefano and Trinculo and Caliban, first by taunting them with beautiful clothing, but then pretending to be a pack of wild dogs and chasing them off, and he was very much delighting in their torture. But now that we're in Act 5, Scene 1, he's like, okay, it's time to wrap things up, because his 6 hours are just about up, so it's time to bring things to a close. And he asked Ariel yesterday where Alonso and Gonzalo and Sebastian and Antonio and that whole crew wound up, and Ariel is like, well, they're in this sort of like icky swampish area right outside your cell, and 3 of them look kind of distracted, those being Antonio, Sebastian, and Alonso, but the other ones all look pretty sad, and Gonzalo especially, who you've spoken of nicely, Gonzalo, like the tears are frozen on his beard because he was crying, and Ariel's like, if you saw them, you might actually feel bad for them. And Prospero was like, would I really? And Ariel's like, well, I do. I kind of feel for them, like my heart goes out to them a little bit. And Prospero says, and mine shall. Hast thou, which art but air, a touch, a feeling of their afflictions, and shall not myself, one of their kind, that relish all as sharply, passion as they, be kindlier moved than thou art? Though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason, 'gainst my fury do I take part. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. They, being penitent, the sole drift of my purpose doth extend, not a frown farther. Go, release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves. So this is a monologue about turning the other cheek. He first insults Ariel a little bit, like, you're not even a person and you feel bad for them, and me, who is a person, you think that I wouldn't empathize with them even more than you do because I feel the same sorts of things that they do. But he's also like, okay, I did it, I made them sad, and that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to make them feel remorse, and so now I need to stop. His line, the rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. So, like, he could continue to torture them, he could continue to be mean and awful and all of these things, but at this point, just the fact that he's made them realize what they've done is enough. So he tells Ariel to go unfreeze them and bring them here, and he'll fix everything. He'll make amends for the whole bit. And Ariel's like, yep, okay, cool, I'm going to do that right away. And then tomorrow we have one of Prospero's more famous speeches that has some words in it that I'm sure that you've heard before, and they're words that moved me every time I got to say them. Just about change and whether or not people can change. So yeah, tune in tomorrow and find out if they can. I'll see you then for that. Mwah.